Hello, my name is Denise Johnson. I'm the project coordinator for substance use disorder and mental health issues for individuals who are deaf, hard of hearing, and deafblind throughout the state of Wisconsin, and I work at Independence First in Milwaukee. I also collaborate with all of the independent living centers throughout the state. Today, I'd like to share with you some ways that you can effectively communicate with people who are deaf. Some of the characteristics of a deaf person would be that they are severely or profoundly deaf. They use American Sign Language typically as their first language. Their ability to speech read can vary from person to person. And sometimes their speech is intelligible and easily understood. Other times it is not. Some ways for you to get a deaf person's attention would be to tap them on the shoulder, the arm, or the elbow. It would not be acceptable to touch them on other parts of their body unless you might be sitting across from them at a table where it would be difficult for you to reach their shoulder or their arm. You could just lean over and tap their knee if that is within range. Another way for you to get a person's attention would be to slightly wave in their field of vision to get them to look at you. I'd like to share with you some of the reasons why speech reading is very difficult for people to do. It's not an effective mode of communication because 75% of speech is not even visible on a person's lips. Also, words look like other words on the lips. So that leaves only the potential of 25% being visible on a person's lips. With those statistics, it can be extremely challenging. It takes a lot of guesswork and a lot of closure skills to be able to piece things together to allow communication to happen. Unfortunately, this leads to a lot of misunderstanding. Also, speech reading can be extremely exhausting physically on the eyes. It can oftentimes cause headaches for the person who's doing it for any length of time. It's also important to consider the lighting in a room. If it's very dimly lit, that produces a barrier, as well as somebody who may have facial hair. If someone has their upper lip covered by facial hair, it's extremely difficult to speech read someone. You also should consider the needs of a person who might have low vision or may be deaf-blind. Also, if you are chewing on gum or anything like that, placing your hand in front of your mouth, those can also be barriers. Try to remember to keep your lips free from any barriers and try to proceed with communication that way. If all else fails, you may need to try another approach, such as writing notes with the person, texting with them, or bringing in an accommodation such as a sign language interpreter. Note writing can also provide complications as well. If you do note write with someone who is deaf, try to keep the words simple and short. Also, avoid yes and no questions, preferably using open-ended questions because yes and no questions can be more complicated in a written form for people who are deaf. Typically, American Sign Language is the first developed language for people who are deaf, and English is learned as a second language. Just as people who speak a foreign language first have difficulties in their second language when they learn English. So if you do note write with someone who is deaf or hard of hearing, it may be successful in some cases and not with others. Try not to ask a person if they have the ability to speech read. That can kind of be a self-defeating question. Just go ahead and try to see if that approach works. If not, you can move to another option, such as note writing or bringing in an accommodation for effective communication, like a sign language interpreter. Thank you so much for watching today.